All right.
Hold on, wait.
All right, everybody. So today, what we're gonna be doing, because I forgot the name before, we're gonna be doing a Brazilian black bean feijoada with pork. Okay, I'm gonna say the name right. Fei with pork, joada with pork. That's the best I can do. So basically, this recipe starts out by just throwing a bunch of pork in the oven. If you're a pork lover, you're gonna love this recipe. I used bacon. The recipe didn't even call for bacon. I just know bacon and black beans work, so I did it. The recipe is gonna call for links, like cut sort of rounds of chorizo. I couldn't find it just as far as I was willing to drive out, so what we ended up with was some ground chorizo. You crumble it up, you throw it on the sheet tray along with the bacon, and then you take some pork ribs that you want to segment by bones. We got some nice pork ribs. I'm gonna use about half this. The other half is gonna be another video. You're gonna see. You're gonna have to tune in later. Don't worry about it. Got some chorizo. Got some nice chorizo. Alright, gonna use about half of that. I don't know what the other half of this chorizo gonna be for. Gonna figure it out later. Maybe a breakfast thing. Maybe I'll do a breakfast special. This is bacon. You can't see inside the package. It's 6 strips of bacon using 2 of them. We're gonna roast all that off in the oven. We got some beans. After that's all roasted off in the oven, we're gonna, cook up some stuff in a pot, add some beans to it, cover it with water, and we're gonna let it simmer till the beans cook. And that, makes the meat fall apart, makes it all juicy, makes sure it stays moist and doesn't dry out, because we are basically cooking it almost to completion in the oven. But we got some beans, get their bean juices flowing, they thicken the sauce. Everyone loves a thick sauce because we got some rice too. You can't see inside. By the time you're able to see inside, it's gonna pour some rice grains out. The seasonings we're gonna be using in that, we got some bay leaves, got some oregano, crushed red pepper over there, not gonna bring it, garlic. We got some garlic going in there, maybe some other herbs. We'll see. I don't know, man. But first things first that we need to do, gotta get the ribs, gotta cut them in half, gotta get them in the oven. It's late, it's like 7. I was supposed to do this like an hour and a half ago. It's not done yet. Ignore the rice. If you hear rice falling, it's because of what happened not that long ago. All right. So basically what you want to do, you want to get your ribs, you want to open the package, you want to get them in a bowl. Pulling it up, so we getting real with it. See? Look at all them juices that would have been on the counter, and now there's only a little bit of juice on the counter. What you want to do, you want to take a piece of meat. You want to look for the bones. You want to look for all these little bones, and you want to cut in between the bones. So you take about maybe 6 bones, 6, 8 bones, whatever number of bones you want. Go ahead, whatever half is. Shake your entire table while you cut the pork ribs. So I think this is what I'm going to use for tonight. This one I'm going to save for some ribs later. And now with this piece that you are going to use, you go ahead, you cut it just bone width. So all the bones you feel up in there, make sure you make a nice clean cut. So it looks like we're getting about 6 strips. I got a puppy running. When my hand's not covered in meat, maybe you'll see it. So now that I have these strips, you see, got all these strips cut, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna toss them in a rub. I'm gonna toss them in that oregano, bay leaf, crushed red pepper, some salt, some pepper, all the good shit. All the good shit you need. Got that done. Hands dirty. Give it a wash. That's like the dirtiest item you got. Make sure you clean up your workstation after. This is my puppy. Her name is Maple. Can you see her?
Yeah.
Maple, look at the camera. You're famous. This is what it looks like after you do it. You know what I mean? You get only a little bit of juice if you use the bowl, only a little bit. It's not dripping on the floor. It looks like puppy pee, but you can assure yourself that is pork juice, which the puppy or the cat will promptly take care of. All right. What?
Nothing goofy.
I love you.
I love you too. What's the naan for?
We're eating with the meat.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds really good. How long are beans?
Beans are forever food. Beans are 100% forever.
Beans are forever.
Huh?
Beans are forever.
Beans are forever. You ever seen a bean go bad?
Ain't never seen a bean go bad in my day.
Never seen a bean go bad in my life. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the meat I got, putting it in a bowl, all right? Because we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna sprinkle some rub on it, and then we're gonna get it in the oven so it can start roasting. So, what we got? Got the meat in a bowl. Get some oregano, give it a sprinkle. Maybe like, I don't know, man, a couple dashes. Don't expect this to be a series where you get quarter teaspoon measurements. It's not, maybe one day. I do dashes, I do sprinkles. Some bay, a couple dashes of bay. You can see how much I'm sprinkling in. Red pepper flake. Got some olive oil. Some pepper. Get your salt. A lot of it on there. Maybe not as much as I poured on, but like, make sure you like massage that shit. Make sure you listen to it. If it doesn't sound right, it's probably not right. You wanna go ahead, take this, get it on your sheet tray. It's going in the oven once we get the chorizo and the bacon on there. And then it's roasting on. She's a puppy on camera. So we're moving on to the chorizo and the bacon. Go ahead, open up your chorizo. Usually this recipe's done using like links of chorizo and then you cut them. So like they have like little roasted off rounds that you throw in the oven and then you add those to your stew. But my friend Meyer didn't have those. So what we got today is ground chorizo that I guess I'm just gonna roast off in the oven. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll make little chorizo meatballs. Maybe that'll be what I do. That's probably enough chorizo. So we're gonna try and retell a story that I just tried to tell. The one time I made this dish before, I was going down to visit my grandparents in California. I currently live in Washington, so you know, it's a little bit away, so I don't see them very often. But when I was down there, I made this dish for my grandparents. It has a lot of pork in it. They can't eat a lot of things other than pork. I don't understand it. It feels like it should be the other way around, like, oh, here's some chicken, here's some turkey. They said, no, we need pork. And it didn't have a lot of the same spices, a lot of the same ingredients that I wanted to use, or that I'm going to use now rather. It was something that I made for them and everyone seemed to like, and I think I can just do a better job now than I did then. So I know that it can benefit us by filling up our freezer, and it'll be a good dinner for tonight, and hopefully I don't blow it. Last time I tried to make it, I blew it. I burnt the pot. I scorched the bottom of the pot because I don't think I added enough water to the beans. I'm just gonna go straight on. Threw all that stuff in an oven at 425, let it roast for about maybe 30 minutes. The pork ribs took maybe about 45, but that's more than enough time to get your beans soaked and boiled and cleaned. This guy's gonna roast in the oven at 425 for probably, I don't know, about 30 minutes, just until everything's looking like it has some nice color on it. Put your scraps in the fridge. Don't leave them out because that causes contamination, and you should probably wrap them eventually, which I'm not gonna do. That's roasting. All right, so the next step, Brazilian black bean feijoada with pork. Shout out to GlobalTableAdventure, where I'm getting the recipe from. This is actually the original site that I found the OG recipe on back when I was in California, and I made it for my grandparents. Next step is I'm actually gonna speed things along and par cook the beans just because I don't want to wait multiple hours. Ignore the trip. Gotta find a pot. Just throw however many you want in there. It's a bean party. No need to hold back. Don't be stingy. We don't use beans often in this house, so when we do, make sure we use a lot of them. Since this is just the first rinse, I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna let these beans boil for like a minute, drain them off, and then I'm gonna boil the beans again with like maybe a bay leaf and some shit in there. And again, this is just so everything comes together quicker at the end when I take the meat out of the oven and do my sofrito, add the beans, add the meat, cover it, let it reduce, and we tidy up. Does the camera see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean?
It like looks like it's aimed down. It looks like it's aimed like down. Like you're aimed at like my belly button.
Why would I not be pointing it at you?
I don't know. Okay, that's a very good, okay, sorry. That's a very good point. Now I feel very insulting. Sorry, okay, listen. Another thing I did with the feijoada, I decided to go more of a sofrito route, so I currently work at like an Italian kitchen, and I think that sort of shows as I made a sofrito for my Brazilian dish. But maybe, I don't know, maybe the Brazilians have sofrito too, and I'm just a fool. But what I did, I took a Poblano, a Serrano, an onion, some celery, and some carrot, diced it all pretty fine, and then cooked it down in a pot with some olive oil, some salt, some pepper, and some smoked paprika.
Oh, shit.
With the carrots, just make sure you throw all your garbage on the ground.
Yeah, just straight on the floor. Just blends into the ground.
It blends in. The best advice I can give is to make sure you have a scrap bowl. Is she barking at the cat?
She literally barked.
Here, let's go. Pause this. Let's go look. Alright, so you're gonna go ahead and give all this veg a small dice.
Why was that bad?
Huh?
The long skinny guy.
This?
Yeah,
it's just the end of it. I just usually cut off the ends and stuff because it's like a little bit dead. Or it's like, I don't know, man. Why do we cut off the ends of vegetables? Who knows? Should I not?
I don't know. I just was asking. He looks like a perfectly good little guy.
Would you eat him?
Maybe.
Would you eat him?
Yeah.
You'd eat him?
Sure.
Okay. Maybe I will stop doing that then. Equality for veg. Shit's smelling good, bro.
Oh, it does smell really good.
The meat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and remove the seeds because that's where most of the spice is gonna be, and I don't want to murder Becca.
Yeah, I'll die.
Yeah, she'll definitely die. It's okay to sort of just chop it up however the fuck you wanna.
You know, any shape is fine.
any shape is fine. Pieces are all equal. Pieces
as long as it fits in your mouth.
Pieces are
good.
pieces are pieces. For the beans, now you can see that they've come to like sort of a simmer. I'm gonna come over to the sink. This is just because I didn't let them soak, and you kind of want to let it like get all the funk off of them from like being in the bag and shit. So you bring them up to a boil. You boil them in hot water. You rinse them, and then you just boil them again, and they should be good to go. At least that's like my understanding, and that could just be totally wrong.
Anyway.
Okay, the beans are just gonna go back in the pot. We're gonna go ahead and fry off the vegetables. Do our sofrito so we can cook it sort of low and slow without meat gets a little bit more color on it. Other things we're gonna be doing today are gonna be hopefully breaking down some chickens. I've never broken down a chicken before. Maybe like once, and I just don't remember it, but like I don't remember it obviously, so it didn't make that much of a lasting impression, and I wanna like know how to do it, you feel me? And we also are gonna make some chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip walnut cookies with toasted oats. I got some secrets up in here. I want to share them. I want to give people knowledge about things that they need to be informed on. And those just happen to be chocolate chip cookies. What I should have done here and that I didn't do is I should have like let it take a little bit more time. The longer that you let this go, the more sauce-like the sofrito is going to become, and it's all going to melt together, it's all going to break down, and it's all going to like sort of just become one. You could even blend it after this, which I didn't do just because I don't have a problem seeing the visible chunks of like carrot and celery and stuff in my food, but I know that it would have probably looked just as beautiful and like decadent and hearty and meaty if you did blend it, so all you're seeing is the beans, the meat, and like the thick goop, bro, the thick goop. You're gonna want to add the beans in, kind of give that a stir just so the beans can start to absorb whatever liquid's left in the pot, maybe a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. You want to go ahead, add all your meat from the oven in, so your chorizo, my little chorizo meatballs that I did, or your chorizo discs, your bacon if you decide to do bacon. We're gonna go ahead and throw the ribs back in the oven, because you know you gotta. They ain't done. They obviously ain't done. I'll tell you what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna say fuck it, we're gonna put them juices in this pan. We're gonna put some of them juices in there. Some of them meat juices in this pan right here, you feel me? Ooh, that's Sofrito goodness right there. Alright, meat's going back in for probably another 20 minutes or so. We got the cat going crazy with the toy. Dog going crazy with your boy. We're making a Brazilian dish. And then your your pork ribs, you really want to get a nice color on those. And I think I could have roasted them harder if I had, like, you know what I mean, like more time. I would have loved to do like a dry rub on them just to impart so much more flavor. But that's what I'm saying, you know what I mean? This channel and this recipe is very middle of the road, just me making food whenever I kind of want to make food. That's like what I kind of want it to end up being. And just living my life and sort of like a video documentary series and like a video journal, diary, whatever you want to call it. But you guys can learn from this, listen to what I sort of think I could have done better, and then do it better. And I think that that's more important than me showing how I did it right the first time. So after you add all your meat to the pot, you want to make sure everything's all nice and browned. I browned my chorizo a little bit too much. Don't get it that brown. It's a little bit black. No, not that there's wrong with being a little bit black, but you want to get everything in the pot. You want to cover it with some cold water. You bring it up to a simmer, or you bring it up to a boil, drop it back down to a simmer. You let it go for about 40 minutes, and by that time, everything's all come together and is all homogeneous. It's thickened. You can scoop it with a spoon. It's delicious beyond your wildest dreams. If you thought the pork ribs would fall off the bone before, they are really fall off the bone now. You can pull that shit off, bro. Feel free to serve this with non-bread rice, like normal bread, potatoes. I can imagine anything would be delicious with this, you know what I mean? We did naan and rice, and we had like a 10-pound bag of rice, so it was just a really cheap dinner option. And altogether, I think that this meal, from what I actually used, only cost me maybe about like $8 or $9, and it made a ton of food. So I do think that this is a really good recipe for you guys to go for, and I hope that you enjoyed watching me sort of make it. Let me know if you want to see me make anything else down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I love you.
I love you too.
I can cut bits out. This is probably gonna get cut out. Don't worry. Maybe I won't cut it out. Maybe I love you. Maybe I love you and they can just know it.
I love you.
Maybe I love you. They can just know it. Her name is Maple. She's 10 weeks old. She pee-pees in the house, and she was a bad girl today.
She was a bad girl.
It's all right.
Is that too much?
Nothing's too much.